right, welcome to another episode of A Fun Friday. Did I do it right? I told Randall I'm doing the intro. I'm starting this one.
If you've been listening to us for any length of time, you know I normally start these podcast episodes, and so she had full confidence, and I was rooting for her. I'm like, yeah, you go. And then we hit the record button, and she just freezes.
No, I went into like a giggling attack.
Yeah, she started laughing, and then she goes, maybe I can't do it. And I'm like, it's a hard job, you know? I mean, yeah. you just look at me and think that I make it look easy, but it's not. You know, it's sweat and blood and tears and all that.
I don't know why it's hard, but it's a Fun Friday episode.
It is a Fun Friday episode.
And it's all about camping without actually camping. And we'll get more into it, but when you think of camping, a lot of people are like, heck no, do not sign me up for that. That sounds like the most miserable thing ever.
Yeah.
But yet there are other ways that you can camp without actually sleeping on the ground and possibly being attacked by a bear, which is really weird because we don't even have bears in this area.
It does sound really weird. It's almost like eating ice cream without ice cream. So yeah, we got something up our sleeves on this one, and I'm wearing short sleeves, y'all. So it's going to be a good episode.
All right. So we're back at it, and we are talking about camping without camping. So typically when you go camping, like we were saying earlier, some people love it. And I mean, they sign up for that and they want to do it all the time. But
that's me. I'm kind of a camper. I do like camping.
You like camping as long as it's not anniversary weekend.
Our anniversary falls in August, at the end of August. And if you live in Texas or South Texas, that is one of the hottest months that you can do. So it wouldn't be as bad if maybe we left the state, but every time we go camping, we try to do it close, and it is miserable.
And I get like amnesia. Like I forget. It's like when you give birth and then you forget how painful it is. So in multiple, you have no idea. On multiple occasions, I have tried to surprise Randall with a camping trip, like where we're sleeping in a tent under the stars. It sounds so romantic to me, and it's like I forget that I already tried this. I've gone to the steps of even like holding a spot before, and then I go to tell him because sometimes I can't keep secrets, and then he's like, "Wait, what?"
That's not a good idea. That's terrible. And I burst her bubble, and I'm the terrible husband. But I save us a lot of sweat and a lot of just miserable moments.
And yes, and I guess that's true. And then I think for so many people, when you think of camping, you think of that, like the hot, sweaty, that next morning, even if you survive the night, but that next morning condensation, like that's sitting on your body and on your mattress and all that. Like
it is. I mean, we've been camping before to where I couldn't even sleep at that night because it was so hot and sticky. If you're anywhere in the South, it's just we have that humidity that, you know, it's like 90% humidity, and it's just sticky. It's miserable. So yeah, it is.
So we're going to share with you 3 different ways that you can like camp without camping, 3 different type locations sort of. And then we're going to give you like just your good feeling camp stuff, the things that you don't want, like the reason you want to camp is because you experience these things. And so we're going to make sure that you know what those things are. You may already do them, or maybe some of them are new to you, but that way you can have that camp feel without actually going camping.
So number one, this is camping without camping. Okay, so like maybe you are a diehard camper and that's awesome, but maybe there are people in your family that's not. So this is kind of that happy meet in the middle. Yeah, meet in the middle.
I start walking your way.
You start walking mine. We meet in the middle.
Yeah,
there it is. Okay, so sorry, y'all didn't sign up for a song, but you got just that portion. Now that song is probably stuck in your head, and you're like, dang it, why did you get that song stuck in my head? But number 1 is glamping. Glamping kind of sounds like a horse, like clamp. No, it doesn't sound like
horse. You were going so far off topic today.
Yeah, I don't know what it sounds like, but it's glamping. So it sounds like camping, but it's glamping.
And glamping is like a glamorous type camping. It's like they take the two words and merge them together. And this could really, I mean, we could probably spend an entire episode just talking about glamping and all the different things that they have out there. But they have really taken camping to the next level. It used to be just like, okay, there's the people that slept in the tents, and then there are those that brought their RV.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So I had a family reunion when I was a kid. We would do big family reunions from time to time. Well, we did one at one of these rivers that you can float here kind of close to where we are. But we all met, like our whole family gets there, and I couldn't have been any more than maybe 8. And most of my family that had showed up, they all got like these camp spots to where it's throwing a sleeping bag out, it's pitching a tent, and here my family pulls up in this nice rented RV. Like we're driving in, I'm thinking.
I love that y'all rented it.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't own it. You rented
we
an
definitely
RV.
rented an RV. We pull up like it's vacation, and I can think of Clark Griswold
Yes.
coming up, and we did. And I remember one morning, my mom just with our kitchen. We had a kitchen with an oven. She's making those pig in a blankets, and we got like our family members being like, wait, what? So they're all knocking on the door. Can I have some pig in a blanket? Because nobody else had like refrigerators.
Can I use y'all's toilet? That would be my main thing.
Yeah, so definitely we had a toilet and everything. So we were glamping on that. So that is one thing that you can do is maybe it's taking an RV, or we have a bunch of friends that they've got camp pull behinds that they pull into these park places, and they've got the whole setup, the kitchen, the bathrooms, everything.
But it's gone even further than that. Like if you look on Instagram, the things that they have created where you're camping in the woods, but it's like a dome, and you're like, sometimes they're see-through domes and sometimes they're not.
That would be cool. I do want to do a see-through dome. That would be pretty
It does look really cool, because sometimes where they're in just these most gorgeous places, or they have like these super fancy tents, like where you have a full-on, it looks better than our bedroom decorations inside this. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing for sure. They even have hot tubs right outside them. I mean, I've just seen so much on Instagram, but I've also like saw my friends have posted and they've done these things. So this is like real life. It's not just like a mirage.
And cabins, you can do cabins in the woods. So now you still have all the facilities, but you're in the woods, and kind of, I think that's the whole thing about camping is it's getting outside of the city, is getting outside of your normal and getting out into Mother Nature and just enjoying the quiet, enjoying the breeze, the stars. Like us, we don't ever see the stars because we're in a city. And when we go to a place like this, you just see how big the sky is, and it's amazing. It's really cool. And I think it does something to our souls too whenever we're just out in an environment like that.
Well, and just seeing, the last one that I want to say about the glamping, before we move on. They have tree houses, y'all. If you didn't know, they have like these tree houses that you can camp inside of, and it just looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
That's all on my bucket list of things to do.
So there are, those are the big things if you're wanting to do camping and go out into that wild and experience Mother Nature. But the other two things are a way to camp without camping as well. But this is something you don't even have to leave your house for. So number 2 is camping in your backyard. So that is that's something that's fun, and maybe you are the type that you like going camping. So the cool thing with this, especially being summertime and things like that, is now you can add this in with your family fun that you're just doing this in between. Maybe it's not time. Maybe it's a month or 2 before you're going on your vacation or something. Now you can still get a camping experience, but you're doing it in your yard. You're pitching a tent. You're setting everything up as you would if you had went out and went camping. And now you're doing something different. And I'm telling you, these are things that your kids will love. They will remember these things, because it's like, what? I don't have to sleep in my room or in our house. We're going to sleep outside in our yard.
Do you remember the year that we put the tent on the trampoline?
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah, a tent on the trampoline, which is, very unique because it gets it up off the ground if you have a trampoline.
But if you move too much, you get a little bit of bounce while you're sleeping.
You do have a bounce, and if one of your kids wakes up and just gets a little frisky and wants to bounce, then, it really messes everybody else up.
But I love the camping in your backyard because you have all of the convenience of your house when you need it. You can go to the bathroom still. You can run in and grab whatever you forgot. You still have Wi-Fi somewhat
You can
close.
still cook.
Yes, you have all of that near you.
If you're taking a 5-gallon bucket and still using the bathroom outside, then more power to you. You can do that. That's another level. But yeah, you can do that. And
then maybe, like Randall said, it's summertime and it's hot and it's sticky still outside where you live, or it just isn't convenient for your backyard. The third thing is you can camp inside your house. You don't have to even be outside.
Camping inside.
Yeah, you can just pop your tent up. What's it called?
You just pop your tent up. You can
What's
set
it called? There's a name.
Like a pop-up tent?
No, I thought there's a name like for making your tent.
Pitch your tent.
Pitch your tent. That's it.
It's like I was nowhere near where you were on the. You can go pitch your tent inside. And a great place to do that is like your living room. You can do that in your living room. You can, just wherever works for you, but a place to where now your kids aren't sleeping in their room, but they've got a different feel. Now, I will tell you, if it depends on what kind of parents you are and how hardcore you want to go. If you sleeping on the ground can be a challenge, especially the older you get. We had one time that we had this big ice storm in South Texas, which is crazy to say, but all the power went out, and at that night we had a fireplace. We're fortunate to have that, and we lit our fireplace, and it's like, you know what? Why don't we just sleep by the fireplace? Because it was so cold in the house.
So romantic.
Sounded romantic. It was just me and her at the time. Our kids were off doing their things. And so, yeah, it's like this romantic thing. We're going to spend the night by the fire. I woke up the next morning in pain. My back was killing me. It was horrible. It was like, this was the worst thing I ever did. So yeah, maybe if that's you as a parent, just a side note, get a cot or
your air mattress.
Extra blankets and air mattress.
Blow up air mattress. I guess if you didn't have power, you couldn't, which is why we couldn't blow up our air mattress. But also, speaking of being old, we're gonna have a grandbaby soon, and so some of these things, I miss them because our kids are older. We don't get to. We've had our oldest, Riley, her younger brother, he's just turned a teenager, just crazy to think, but he's been coming and spending the summers with us. He's not either one of ours child. It's Riley's from her other side of the family.
Riley's biological mother's child, yeah.
But he comes and spends the summer with us, and so he's got to where he likes, we make him a fort just out of all the blankets that we have around the house, and you pull in all your table chairs and start just wrapping the fort around and putting buckets and boxes and whatever you can do to get it to stay up. And then she's even made it fancy, a glamping fort where it had lights hanging from it, the little twinkle lights, and putting that in front of the TV. It does mess
up your kind of living room, and it messes up your kitchen whenever all your chairs are pulled into the living room to create this, but he loved it.
I mean, it was where it was cool. Staying up for days, and Randall's the type of person, like, he needs order. And so he's like, after like day 3, maybe day 4, he's like, are we going to put the living room back together anytime soon?
It was real cool, and he loves it. And I mean, what kid wouldn't? So being able to create that environment for your kids is just something extra special. It's something out of the ordinary that you can do. It's easy to do. But, it's just being intentional and saying, hey, you're planning this maybe one Friday night or Saturday night and say, hey, let's pitch a tent in our living room, TV off, we're unplugging, and we're just doing it camping style in the house. Crazy, but fun, and it really is. So.
And that's what I say. I can't wait till grandbaby comes.
Yeah. So even as grandparents, which
you can do that.
It's crazy to think that we're going to be grandparents. I don't feel like a grandparent yet. So it's kind of that's going to be a new season for us, so we're excited. But yeah, so it really is. Maybe you're a grandparent, and these are things you can do with your grandkids to really create memories too. So good stuff. So those are the 3 things: camping without camping. So you got glamping, you got camping in your backyard, and you got camp inside the house. Boo-yah. But now we're fixing to talk about 4 camping activities that you can include in any one of these things.
Hang on. We'll be right back. Check this out.
It's time to have some more blended family fun, yeah. Are you ready?
What was that?
It's my new song. You like it?
Sure, I guess.
Well, it goes along with Enjoy the Journey, our new blended family roadmap to having fun together.
Oh, okay. I get it now. I feel the excitement, but why don't you tell them about it instead of singing it?
Fine, I guess. Let me try. This is a fun journey for your family, a new experience. You could go to the movies again, or you could get this for your family and come out with a new plan that creates more fun opportunities in your family. You'll laugh more, have more fun together, and create lasting memories that keeps your family stronger and healthier. And it's also about having more fun. How was that?
That was pretty good. I know that got them way more excited about the new journey they can go on as a family than your song did.
What? Come on.
You could have also told them that it not only creates more fun their whole family loves doing, but it also adds more fun for their marriage and new fun ways to connect with their kids individually. It's also great for that step-parent relationship. You could have said that too.
I don't think you really appreciated my song.
Ay. Anyways, Enjoy the Journey is ready for your family to start today. The link for more information is in the show notes. Have more family fun and create more lasting memories.
Have more family fun with your blended family and enjoy the journey today. Yeah.
Really? Let's get back to this episode. Yeah, so when I was thinking of like, okay, what are the things that make you want to camp? You know, it's not all the hardships of sleeping outside and that. It's those bonding experiences that you have with your family members. And so what are those things? And our kids, the number one thing, we still do it out in our backyard without going camping, and that is roasting marshmallows.
Well, it's not just roasting marshmallows for y'all. I am standing right next to a s'mores fanatic.
Oh, throwing me under the bus there.
If you don't know what a s'mores is, which I'm sure you do, but it's this nice graham cracker that you get, and you break it in half, and you have 2 pieces. You have a Hershey's milk chocolate bar. You know, it's got to be milk chocolate. It's got to be milk chocolate. But you got the milk chocolate, and you break it just big enough for that square piece of graham cracker. You place that on there, and then you get one of those big marshmallows, and you stick it on a stick, and you roast it on a campfire, and you get it all black.
Yeah.
And then you put it
a blaze of fire
right on that chocolate, and you put the other half of that graham cracker on. You pull your stick out of the marshmallow. You squish it together until the marshmallow is busting out of its sides, and you take one big bite with it gooing from your face. So it's
so delicious.
That is a s'mores.
So messy.
Even if you knew what a s'mores was, I just made you hungry for one.
Well, you know, when you were saying I was like visualizing, and then I remembered I had the roasted campfire marshmallow like Bath and Body soap on my hands.
Hand soap. They make a hand soap.
I can sniff it and I can taste it all right now during the podcast. It's so good. But so before we move on, though, because now that you know what s'mores are, there are things that we have learned over the years that have been like mind blowing when it comes to s'mores to take your s'more up to the next level.
A next level s'more. So, it's about to get real.
So one is you add a Reese's cup to it, you know, with like the peanut butter and chocolate. And instead of like your Hershey's chocolate, you put that. Oh my, we are huge fans of peanut butter and chocolate as like our favorite treat. And so that is just incredible. Try that. Yes. Then a friend of ours that needed like a neat s'more, and s'mores are messy. They are messy. The kids, if they smush them down too hard, they crumble the graham cracker. It's everywhere.
Just roll around in the dirt, and then the dirt will stick to it, and it kind of gets the stickiness off.
Ay, ay, ay. So this one, it's still kind of messy, but it doesn't take all the work of putting it together. And it's, they're called fudge stripes cookies. They're like Keebler Elf. And they have like the fudge on the bottom, and then they have the stripes on the top. And you use that as your graham crackers with your chocolate. So all you need is the marshmallow to stick in there, and then you have your little s'more just like that. So delicious.
One-upping.
It is.
This is
And
a
have you seen,
s'mores.
I don't even think I told you about them. Did you see the stuffed, what do they call it? Stuffed puff.
Stuffed, what? They have stuffed, puffed? These are the marshmallows.
These are
so they like have stuff in the puff.
Yes, because when we were doing a meal delivery service, and sometimes they throw like random stuff in there for you to try. They are marshmallows that have chocolate stuffed inside of them, so that you go and you put it out to roast it, and it has it in, so that you're not having to build it. So another game changer, isn't that?
That is, yeah. That's just like. Wow.
I don't recommend eating it without roasting it, because I tried one of those and it was not so great. But you got to roast it. And then the last thing I want to say on s'mores, this was created, it was like birthed from COVID. Okay. Some guys that were sitting around that live in the city wanted to have a campfire, but they couldn't have a campfire for whatever reason in the place they lived. So they created these things. They're called city bonfires. And it's like a little metal tin, and inside it has the stuff you need for a bonfire. And you just light the top, and now you have your own bonfire right there. You can take them on the beach with you. You can take them in your backyard. I think you should be outside still with it.
Yeah.
Word of caution. Yeah. But just look, they're on Amazon, and they're only like 20-some bucks. Like, I
remember my granddad, we went deer hunting back when I was young, and it was so cold. And he looked at me and he said, "You cold, boy?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Okay." He had one of those big coffee cans, like you probably seen them, like a big Folgers can, yeah, the big ones. And it was empty, of course, but he had the setup. He had a toilet paper roll in it, and it was full of alcohol, like the rubbing alcohol. And he lit that on fire, and we had a nice little fire there inside of our little what do you call them, the little deer stands.
The deer, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was sitting there putting my toes all over it and everything, like, oh, that's so good. So yeah, there you go.
You've never shared that story with me.
Never have. So there you go. That's a new one.
So there are other ways to even have a fire if you can't necessarily build like a straight up fire. So they even have fire pits now all over the place. So that's just all on camping activities for the s'mores,
roasting marshmallows. But yeah, really it is, and you can do a little fire in your backyard if you're able to do that. I know we have what you call like a chimenea, and then you've got like those little small open pits to where you can throw a couple wood pieces on there, and, we've used those before too. So, these are fires, these are controlled fires that you can do that are safe. You just want to make sure that you're there and you don't have your young kids running the show. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's all different kinds of ways to roast marshmallows, and just have that as one of your camp activities.
Yeah, and really the campfire is like the thing that gathers you all around. And so we probably should have spent a little more time building up the fire first, because all of these activities...
Building the fire.
All these activities are created to be around a fire. You don't have to. I've done fires in my pre-K classroom before, where we just took like toilet paper rolls and some red tissue paper and put it in there, and sometimes even put a fan under it to make it look like it was blowing, to make it look and appear like we had a fire. You don't have to have one, but it's just
it makes it fun. So roasting marshmallows is just, man, you got to do that. That's part of it. And then the second one out of 4 is storytelling.
Yeah, and storytelling, like you can do that in a couple different ways. We shared on a podcast a while back where Randall had this like hilarious story about he was at summer camp with a bunch of boys.
Bean.
And they went around and they were actually like adding to the story. Like someone would tell the story, and then someone would tell another part to the story, and the next person would add to the story, and the next person would add to the story.
You just keep going around the room, and it really is. That's cool, because you don't have to be so creative. You just have to create just one little thing, one little sentence to add to it. And by the end, you've got this completely ridiculous story that everybody's laughing over.
And that they remember forever.
And they remember, yeah.
Doing this with your family, like what a perfect way to create these memories and these stories that you're talking about forever. Or you could go around just old school style and you tell a story. It doesn't have to be scary. A lot of times when you think...
The flashlight on the face.
Yes.
There once was the dark knight who came in the night. Okay. It's like, wait a minute, dark night in the night. That's weird.
Scary story you got going on there. But they could be funny stories. They could be like one of the things that is just a tradition from generation to generation to generation. The way that we have the stories that we have now is because our ancestors way back when sat around at night and told stories about their past and their history. So what a great opportunity for you to sit around the fire and you share stories like Randall just did about him and his granddad. And then you share these stories about maybe with your great-grandparents or a story your parents shared with you. We have really lost the art of that. And that is why something like Camping Without Camping is so powerful that you don't think about, because we get into our day-to-day routines where we are usually stuck on some electronic device or working, but we're not coming together and just sharing those stories.
I tell you, one of the best memories of my grandmother was sitting down, having a school project, but sitting down and asking her about her childhood. And she said, okay, yeah, no, I'd love to do that for you. So she was down at that time, and she sat down, and I sat down, and I had my pen and paper, and she starts talking, I start writing, and she's like, no, Randall, just put the pad down and listen. And so I did, and it was just amazing at hearing about her and her sister living on the farm and the things that they would have to do, and it was just like mind-blowing. And we lose that art of just even when we were kids and being able to share that with our kids. So what a great time to do that just over a campfire. So good stuff.
Yeah,
so
almost brought some tears to my eyes.
Yeah, so that's number 2. And number 3 is family games.
Yes, and I tried to choose some games today just to share with you so you could have just like a little idea, because you want these games to be something that people can contribute to, things that are going to bring laughter around your campfire and that are just going to create those memories for your family. So some of the classic ones that you don't really need a lot of supplies for is like Would You Rather, where you say like, would you rather have, the one I always remember, would you rather have your head on your butt or your butt on your head? That's just like...
Is there an option C?
And both options...
Can I have my butt in the middle and my head on top?
My butt and my belly button, that's pretty much where it already is. Anyways, it's these options that are so ridiculous that it's like really neither one is a good option, but people have to choose. And a fun way that I like to play it is if you would choose the first one, stand up. If you would choose the second one, sit down, something like that if you want to move the game quickly. But if y'all have time and you're just hanging out, going around and letting every person say their answer and why they would choose that, you can print some out ahead of time. If you're actually going like out and you're not going to have internet, you could just go on Pinterest and there's plenty of ideas on there. I started on our Pinterest page that's camping for blended families, and you just are able to find. So if you go to our Pinterest page, it has a whole camping section, and there's games, there's questions in there to find it easily. And then you have those questions right there at your fingertips to ask. Another game is charades, a classic.
Classic.
You don't have to have like the old gestures, which is a family favorite of ours that we play indoors. It's an actual game. But just you go old school charades.
And it ends up being 3 words. Wait, you don't know the rules.
That's what makes it, or, you know, your younger kids that keep talking and telling you what it is while they're trying to act it out. You're like, you're missing the point, kid.
So, yeah, charades is good.
Yeah. Then there's another one called Make You Laugh. So the point is like you team off with someone, you're looking at them and you're staring at each other. And I love this one just because we're big believers in like laughter is medicine for the soul. So you're staring at the person and you're doing things and trying to make them laugh, and they're trying to make you laugh. The first person to laugh is out. And you can keep like narrowing it down until you have your last 2 people, or just keep switching.
Always do a fart noise. It'll get your kids every time.
It's a winner.
It's a winner, yeah. And they're like, for some reason, I don't know. It's just what it is. So
talking about farts is always fun.
So giving the parents the insight.
Yeah.
So there you And then the last one
is Who Am I, which is really close to like 20 questions, where you pretty much, you have like an animal or you have a person or whatever in mind. And like, so like right now I'm thinking of an actress, and then you're just asking me yes or no questions until you figure out what's going on inside my head.
Does she have red hair?
No.
So
has to be yes.
Eliminates all the actresses that it's kind of like Guess Who.
Yeah.
The Guess Who game.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
I mean, you're
but
just
you could use you could do animals and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. So there you go. So that family games. That's number 3 of the 4 campfire activities, and the 4th one, the last one, is music. Musica.
This is probably your favorite one.
It is my favorite one. What kind of camp do you have without music? So, I mean, that is like a key staple for camping is music. Now, nowadays, we got our phones, we got our, Spotify's, we got our music playlists, things like that. But what about turning all that off? That could be one, right? You could do that. You definitely have that, especially if you're not musically inclined, you don't play anything, or, that's just easier for you. And so more power to you. But what about if you do play an instrument, bring that with you. If you have a guitar, bring a guitar. If you got a grand piano, bring your grand piano outside. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That
I'm
would be real
nodding at you, and then I registered what a grand piano is.
No, don't do that. But yeah, no, bring in that. Maybe bring in like a little djembe or something like that you can just beat around on. So those are fun campfire things that you can do. Bring your own music and make up songs or sing old songs or, things like that. That's always a fun thing.
Yeah, and you can do it like karaoke style, where you're just sitting there and singing along to, like, each person is singing along together, or you could do it more like a talent show where everybody has their song that they're going to sing, their favorite one. Yeah. And you just can go around the circle. You can make this last a long time. It could be that you just do a couple songs. But I know some of my favorite memories, and I'm not a singer, but I love worship music. And Randall and Riley are both able to play instruments and both able to sing. And so when we sit outside, and sometimes we have a fire, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're, at a campsite, a church camp or what have you, or with family. I remember meeting up with some of your family a while back and us all getting around the fire, and that I just wanted to keep recreating that moment over and over again, because it was just so powerful to be able to come in like unison together, I think, with those songs. Yeah,
for sure it is. It's connecting. And that's one thing kind of with all these things. What you're doing is you're creating an environment to where you're connecting with your family on a deeper level. And that's great in a blended family. We need moments like that. So really just kind of wrapping this up, it is camping. Either you're glamping, maybe you're just camping, go camping, but you don't have to just do that. You can either glamp, or you can camp in your backyard. You can camp inside the house. You just create those camping style moments. So you can camp without camping, but you're kind of bringing the camping experience, the fun parts that really connect you and your family on a deeper level and create those lasting memories that you all look back and laugh. So yeah, you got that. And then the 4 campfire activities: roasting marshmallows, fire, it's roasting marshmallows over fire, storytelling, family games, and music. So there it is. We've just those are some memories that we love. Those are memories our kids love.
And I bet you too. Like, if you have those same memories, like, it brings those warm fuzzies inside, and to be able to create that for your kids or your grandkids, it's beautiful. It
really is. It's a great thing. So add that to your list of fun activities. If you haven't camped in a while, do it. You now you have some more ways, if you didn't know about them, that you can camp without actually going to a campsite. So utilize this stuff. Go make those deep connections with your family and go laugh a lot. So listen, we love you guys, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye. Hey, thanks for joining us for another fun Friday here at Enjoying Your Blended Family. All the links we talked about today are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe, because it's free and it lets you know when we have another episode out for you to listen to.
And if you don't mind helping us out so we can start reaching more people, leave us a rating and review. You never know when we'll give you a shout out. Until next time, have fun being intentional, and remember to enjoy the moment.